your guys, and there's that excitement. It's great to have him back out there.
Does that seem true for him? Does he seem what you just said? Does he seem kind of renewed?
Yeah, I think he was disappointed last year when he got injured because we felt like we were heading in the right direction, and and the year before, obviously, that was we had a lot of good things going on, and just to get back out there, there's excitement for him.
At this point, what are you looking for from him particularly, and how is he going on his benchmarks?
Just trying to get him comfortable again. Just all the little nuances of the offense. It doesn't seem like he's really missed anything. He's probably further ahead along now than he was last year.
Adam, do you look at this for him more like year 3 for him or year 2 for him?
Probably year 3. I mean, I know he didn't play last year, but I mean, we got it going in the spring, and we were working in training camp, and it looked like things were heading in the right direction. And a year really watching and seeing what was going on, and really viewing from afar, I think it helped him.
Adam, what do you think the upside would be of it seems like there's a clear-cut first-team offensive line at this point. Would your hope be to stick with that group just for continuity? And I know one thing your new OC said to us a couple weeks ago is that he feels this interior of the offensive line is better than what you had last year. Do you agree with that?
I think we're trying to develop a little bit of cohesiveness with that group, and we'll keep taking it one day at a time and kind of just see how everything goes. I don't want to jump the gun and say, here's what it is, locked in stone. It's probably written more in pencil than pen right now. And, we did make an emphasis, make sure we firm up inside and help the center and get those guards in the center working together well, and letting those two guys work on the edges, which we feel like they can do a good job of. And we'll just kind of see how everything plays out.
So has there been anything, a moment these last 2 days where Ryan did something on the field that you said, okay, we're fine, all is well? He looks.
Yeah, I mean,
I love that.
Yeah, most of the stuff that he's done, I feel good. I feel good where we're at, and as long as we don't have any setbacks, I don't know what that could be. But I mean, I feel like we're in a good place. I've seen him move around just as well as he ever has.
Adam, I didn't notice Frank Moore doing team things. Did I miss it, or was he limited?
No, Frank's not going to do a whole bunch in the spring. I mean, he hasn't done anything in 4 or 5 years, maybe 6.
As far as Albert Wilson, I believe he had a touchdown out there. What have you seen from Albert in 11 on 11? What have you seen from him so far these 2 days?
Well, when you get a guy that's coming from a different team, and he has plenty of experience playing, he's made a lot of big plays in his career. I just see a veteran guy that is just trying to get the terminology really down. There may be a few different techniques that we're trying to do with him that he hasn't done before, or he doesn't have a lot of experience with. But for the most part, I mean, he's just playing football. I mean, when you have the kind of athletic ability he does, the speed he does, the playmaking ability, you just try to find ways to get the ball in his hands and let him do his thing.
Adam, you said you like this group, but what have you seen so far on the field? Has the vibe out there really validated what you've seen?
Yeah, it's been good. We're in day 2 here. We'll see what it looks like in the 9th practice, but the energy level's been good. The way the guys are chasing the ball on defense, and the line working down the field, receivers trying to turn and put themselves in good position down the field. I just like the way guys are finishing.
What kind of early sense do you get from Brock Osweiler?
We're just working on a few things to kind of tweak a few things mechanically, nothing big, and just trying to get him back in rhythm to where we were 3 or 4 years ago, however long it's been, and it's coming back to him really fast. It's not too far off, from last time he was really in the system. So he's been good. It's been good to be around him again. He's got great energy level, and I think he's enjoying kind of being with that group and then working with the receivers he's working with.
How do you plan to work things out with Ryan in regards to the knee brace? Will we see him out here some days wearing it to get used to it, or not at all?
Yeah, that'll have to be a question you ask him. I know you guys are going to talk to him today, so you can ask him all the knee brace questions you want.
Adam, can you
Well, he's a guy that, there's a lot of experience with, Matt there, them working together. I think the fact that him and Tony both came from the same system, same team, there was a quick gel there on that side of the ball. And, Chris, he brings juice every day. I mean, you will hear him from the moment you step on the field until the end. And his guys, I know his guys are going to run the football because I've heard it enough over the last 2 days. So he gets quite a workout himself out there.
With Danny Amendola, we saw 2 instances where he kind of was upset or frustrated with himself when he fumbled the ball and then when he nearly had the ball picked off. Is that common for what you've seen from him in terms of the intensity?
Well, I mean, that's him. That's how he's been his whole career. And, our defensive guys found out that firsthand last year. Got a little heated there between him and Bobby. He's a competitor. He's a perfectionist. He's going to compete whether it's, day 2 of OTAs or phase 2 or in the weight room during, game week. I mean, it's just not going to change.
How much do you think that's because of size or chip on his shoulder mentality?
I think it's just his makeup. I mean, that's just how he's been. I mean, he's a guy that beat the odds that he wasn't ever going to play in the NFL.
Coach, the NFL just released this new anthem policy. Have you had any conversations within the locker room, within the staff, how you want that handled?
I just walked off the field, so I'll probably get debriefed here at some point.
Adam, what have you seen from Fitzpatrick from the time you talked with him?
It's hard to say over 2 practices. I know that he's trying to, immerse himself in this stuff and, do everything he's asked to do. No matter what group he's running with, he's trying to put himself in position to make plays and make sure that he's doing his job.
What are you looking for out of the rookies in this first set of OTAs and how they react with the veterans?
It's really just trying to, get them to where they're up to speed with the other guys. It's going to be tough because there's a lot of things they haven't seen, and they're going to make a lot of mistakes, and our job is to correct them quickly and trying to get them on the same page with the veterans as fast as possible.
When you think back to Ryan Tannehill playing so well for you toward the end of 2016, and then how you thought he looked during the 2017 offseason, what are the things that you saw that make you look back and say that things were getting so much better at that time?
Just his calmness. When you have, really when you have the offense to the point where you're reacting and you're not thinking, I think he's really to that point, and he can do next level things to where he can get us out of bad plays. He can make run checks and make sure that we're not running into bad looks. It moves slower for him in his brain, and we can tell that by some of the things that he does on the field. And occasionally we'll have a hiccup here and there where we'd rather him not do something, or we want him to do something different, and he's able to absorb the information and then apply it fast. That first year when you're out there and you're doing a lot of the things that we do, it can slow you up and you can make poor decisions because of it. I don't think we're going to really see him a lot of that.
How synchronized are you and him now compared to where you were when you first? Where are the big leaps in terms of just him understanding you?
I don't know if there's been any big leaps. I mean, this is our 3rd year being around each other. We know each other pretty good. We're able to, he can kind of feel where I'm at on certain things, and I can do the same thing with him. And, I have a lot of faith that if he tells me something, we're going to run with it because I trust what he's saying and I trust what he's telling me. So, I think really that's where you get, the longer you're with somebody, the easier it is to kind of play off each other and then make sure that when he says something, I'm going to listen and just go with it.
And when it comes to the prototypes of your corners, you usually have the long, rangy guys on the boundary. Could Bob McCain change your thinking if you play as well?
Yeah, Bobby, I have confidence. Bobby goes out there, I feel good about it because he covers his guy, and he can make plays on the ball when he's outside. And I've seen him do it in practice. We haven't done it in a whole bunch of games unless we absolutely have to. But I mean, that the spot that he plays, there's so much nickel personnel that's being played. I mean, he probably played 600 plus snaps last year, and I mean that's the way the game is. When if he had to play outside then slide inside and do things like that, it's a lot of plays, it's a lot on your plate, and that nickel spot's really a whole, it's a tough position. You got to know a lot of things, know a lot of adjustments.
With Raekwon McMillan and Tony Lippett, are they cleared without any limitations to participate in OTAs?
Well, they're participating. We're keeping an eye on both of them. Lip, we're just making sure. I mean, that's a kind of a different injury for his position, where there's a lot of plant and drive and a lot of stress on the whole Achilles thing. So we're trying to be smart and make sure that he feels good and get him confident and ready to go to where he feels like he can play at the level that he was playing really at the end of the season a couple years ago. And Raekwon, I feel like we're in a good spot with him right now. I still think we're all just kind of watching. When those defensive players probably a little less protected and Ryan's in a different spot to where nobody's really going to come around him as much. Those guys are kind of getting tangled up with bodies quite a bit. We're just keeping an eye on it, but we feel good where they're at right now.
So like limited snaps?
I'd say Tony, we're probably a little more limited. Raekwon's really, I don't know if he's letting us allow him to be limited.
Adam, what do you hope Josh Sitton brings to your offensive line? Is there something already that you have noticed that jumps out at you in the little time that you've seen him on the field?
Yeah, just from the amount of time he's been here, you can see he's a veteran player that has the type of swagger you want from an offensive lineman. He brings confidence with that group. He's got something about him that's probably different than a lot of guys that I've been around. Very confident. He's very knowledgeable. He helps those other guys. It's a great thing to see how he works, him and Laramie, and how they talk through things and the amount of time they spend with each other. And then when we get on the field, you see the way he moves. He's a big man that moves really well, and he knows exactly kind of what the defense is trying to do, and he knows how to react to it. And you're not getting much pushback when he's in there.
Regarding your tight ends, you drafted two, you brought back a group of veterans, and I'm wondering what you see and what you want to see. Like, are you seeing the veterans kind of buck up and saying this is our job, or what do you want to see out there?
I think everybody's competing. That's really what we want, and I think it's going to sort itself out. We got a long ways to go. It's good to have as many guys as we have right now. I feel good with how everybody's got a variety of skill sets. Everybody does a little bit something different well, and we're just going to keep getting these guys reps and seeing kind of who really pushes themselves to the forefront. But right now, I like the way those guys are competing.
Last question, guys.
Would you like to see, and I know it's early, eventually, before the start of the season, Ryan handle adversity, be under pressure, have some, real game-like situations where things go wrong? Or would you rather it be kind of smooth sailing for him until the start of the season?
Well, something's gonna happen. We'll go through some kind of adversity at some point. That's the way the nature of this business is. Something usually comes up, whether it's an injury, whether it's, we're having an off day and we got to fight our way out of it and figure out a way to move the ball. Whether it's a spring training camp, preseason, regular season, something's going to come up at some point. You just keep preparing and putting yourself in good position, and when those times come, you got to use the knowledge that you have and your ability and the guys around you to really push through that and then find a way to be successful.
All right, thanks, guys. Josh.